From Studio 1A in Tampa, Florida, comes a talk show that really feels your pain and tells you like it is. We love America and all that freedom-loving Americans want to protect. Live from coast to coast and on your radio, it's For the People with Keith Allen.
We'll help you survive this thing called life. We're for the people. Whatever your source of stress or strife, for the people is there.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Keith Allen and proudly welcoming you to For the People on this Tuesday, May the 9th, 2017. We got a fantastic show lined up for you. One that serves up daily. Common sense. It's such a rarity, I know, sometimes to be able to have an intelligent, informational conversation, one that you can actually share with your friends and sound halfway intelligent. That's what we do each and every day here to not just entertain you, but to give you something to talk about, something to think about, something to go, that's interesting. That's what we like to provide. By the way, we believe here at For the People that all of us can kind of share the load. So I've done something a little unique, haven't quite gone this direction. And believe me, I try to rack my mind to figure out strategies and ways to be able to take this listener-supported radio show and get people to give. Sometimes, I've said this on Facebook today, it's like pulling teeth. And I don't think people necessarily like to get their teeth pulled. And I really try to give good reason to give. So I've made it rather easy today. I've just asked for $1. We have probably about 600 people or so that daily follow us on our Facebook, either Keith Allen or on For the People at For the People Show. So I'm thinking, wow, that would get that meter going up to help us raise that $5,000. So if you're listening to it right now and you have $1, a cup of coffee you can't even practically get with $1. So it's not a whole lot you can buy with $1. However, just to prove a point, give $1. It'll take you just a few seconds to do it. But if you got $1, you say, yeah, I could give $1. That's ridiculous. Give it. Don't let it be ridiculous. It'll help us. But if everybody gives $1 today, let's see what we can do. Let's just be crazy about it. And if you want to, if you're putting that much energy and effort into going to the website to give $1, if you are so inclined to give more than $1, you can do that too. I'm not going to stop you. Okay? So, but if you can just give $1, and that's basically where it's at, that's all you have. And believe me, I know that some folks, that's all they have. They really are not doing so well, but some of you can kind of scratch up an extra $1. So this would be cool. Let's see what we can do, and I'll report tomorrow exactly how many of those $1 I got or donations altogether. But let's see what we can do. I'd like to report just overwhelming a number of these dollars that have added up. But if you can do your part, don't wait on somebody else, because that somebody else is probably not going to do it. That's just really how it goes. And by the way, I got to be honest with you, okay? I wouldn't give it to you any other way. We need to raise this money before summer, okay? Because once summer happens, everybody's on vacation, and people don't listen to, well, they do listen to the radio still, but not like they usually do, and especially supporting things because, well, their money's going in their gas tank, food, vacations, looking to go to visit the grandkids or whatever, but, they're not thinking about supporting For the People. So let's do this now. Let's get this meter up and running and going so I don't have to run my mouth to do this. And, I might drastically have to do this marathon broadcast around the clock to raise the money, and I don't want to do that. Let's just be realistic. $1. I'm trying to make this really approachable and non-painful. So if you can do that, that would mean the world to us here at For the People. Remember yesterday we're talking about the sanctuary cities, the governor of Texas cracking down and really making this the law. where the Attorney General right now has already had to file a lawsuit against Austin, Texas, because they don't agree with this. They would rather not ask questions when people break the law, whether or not they're legal or not. Here's Mr. Paxton now.
We don't want to wait around. We believe this is absolutely constitutional. This similar law was passed in Arizona, was upheld by the U.S. Supreme Court, and so why wait? We're ready to go. City of Austin, they've made statements about this. Travis County, our sheriff there, Sally Hernandez, has made statements that she wouldn't enforce these. We've sued another entity called MALDEF. They've talked negatively about our law, and we just decided why not just consolidate these and get it on and find out more quickly that our law is constitutional, because we absolutely believe we'll win.
I like how he says, get it on. That's what they do. He's ready to fight them, and that's Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton already filing a suit against local jurisdictions that have been accused of not cooperating with this federal immigration agents and basically a preemptive bid to uphold a newly signed anti-sanctuary city law that challenges many of the jurisdictions. They're not happy with this. Don't like the governor, don't like the attorney general, and apparently they don't have any respect for the rule of law whatsoever. A lot of these snowflakes think that they're doing a good deed. They think they're doing a solid by allowing people to break the law in their backyard, which is, and in fact, making us not a safer country, but a weaker country from within. Because a lot of these folks are not contributing to our country. A lot of them are weakening us because they are not assimilating, and they're not, more than importantly, following our laws. And if you can't follow the simplest of laws, how are you going to follow any of the laws? And I've said this, listen, what laws am I going to obey? Okay, stop signs, let's just blow through them. DUIs, let's just have a DUI. Drugs, let's just do them. Anything goes. It's a downward spiral. Most people know you shouldn't do those things. Most people know what the repercussions are of those. But if you've got law enforcement officials that are looking the other way and allowing people to get away with this, for what? For what? God, honestly, get out of law enforcement. Get out of government. If you cannot respect the rule of law, you should be getting out. But just thought that was an interesting segue, given the fact that we've been spending so much time talking about it, and the reason why we do it is because we believe it's the right thing to do. And sometimes doing the right thing is not easy. It's something that is left out in a large portion of America. Thankfully, flyover country, not drive over country, but flyover country, people get it. They understand. You can be tolerant, you can be compassionate, you can be loving, and still want the rule of law to happen. I'm glad that there's a lot of these laws because they do protect my family and protect our country, and every country has them. This is not a surprise, surprise. I mean, come on, folks, wake up. There's such divisiveness out there, though. I got to tell you, the climate is just divisive. And it's coming from the left. I have never seen so much disrespect of this current administration that I've seen, for many at all. Even those that I talked to that disapproved of Barack Obama, even myself with policies, was not that divisive, just, articulating what I didn't like about the foreign policy and how there was bad deals, people taking advantage of us, yada, yada. But now you get people that are just attacking not only Donald Trump, but Melania, all sorts of bad rumors going on, her daughter, incest jokes with late-night TV comics, incest jokes about Donald Trump and Ivanka. I'm not even kidding. This is terrible. Our next story brings us not too far from where I do this radio show. Here we are, Tampa, Florida. In case you didn't know, that's our origination Studio 1A on West Kennedy Boulevard next to the Fox Tower in Tampa, if you've ever been to Tampa Bay. But Clearwater, Florida, over the bridge. Beautiful beach, beautiful hotels and condos, and it's a neat city. But there is what they call a church that resides there. It's called the Church of Scientology. And they happen to own a lot of land, buying it up as much as they can. Well, they were trying to even buy more land. They own a big swath of land in downtown Clearwater where they have their so-called church, drugstore, and it's just a weird place to go. And I actually went to the Church of Scientology, unbeknownst to who they were, when I was requested to do a voiceover several years ago. And they actually wanted me to do an impression of Tom Brokaw with NBC News. So I thought I would do it. And when I realized it was the Church of Scientology, they did ask me what my faith was. And I said, I worship JC. And they had no idea what the initials were. And once I mentioned Jesus Christ, they were alarmed. And they all kind of looked at each other. And I said, well, what do you believe? And he goes, well, this is the Church of Scientology. And we believe differ. Yeah, different. Okay. We never heard from them again. I got paid for the assignment, but it was something to do with drugs. And it's something that they give, apparently, to a lot of their members. And the reason I'm bringing up Church of Scientology today is there is an interesting article that was written by Jim Jamis, and it's about Tennessee. This is like a Stephen King horror movie. I mean, you've heard bad things, perhaps, of the Church of Scientology about, people walking around like zombies. This is the cream of the crop here, man. This is good stuff. It's sad, really. The Tennessee authorities found something that's just very disturbing. Tennessee judge cracking down on Scientology is what the article says after finding several cult members guilty of false imprisonment and felony kidnapping. This is the Cannon County Sheriff Department. And they like to make the general public aware that the Scientology facilities are closed and not operating in Canyon County. This is a statement directly from the sheriff there in Tennessee. The 16th Judicial District of the state of Tennessee, Cannon County, has charged 3 suspects in the case. Two of the three of them, Dennis Flamand, Hans Snyder Little, entered guilty pleas in General Sessions Court on 2 counts of false imprisonment. The third suspect, Mark Valeris, was charged with 2 felonies of but just as kidnapping in circuit court. Valeris pled by information in circuit court, and then the circuit judge, David Bragg, ruled in the final disposition of the case that all facilities in Cannon County are closed and will not operate any resident facilities in Cannon County, Tennessee. This is like a misery thing. I suspect it will probably be the subject of an upcoming episode. That's what the sheriff said. The 911 emergency phone call provided the sheriff's office with the opportunity to go inside this facility, which they described as a double-wide trailer with several tiny cabins located behind it. And they said they proceeded up the hills through the gated makeshift padlock that is secured externally with a steel latch. The officers reported the individual who called them was looking out through a plexiglass window, and he looked inside the cabin with no way to remove himself from the building, and the caretaker unlocks the door and lets them enter the cabin. The cabin is bare. There is a small pile of sheets in the corner, and there's no obvious amenity for life. The officers reported the man being held there tells the officers he's being held against his will and given unknown medications. It explains he is there to have rehab and get cleansed through Scientology.